I think we're recording. This keeps happening to me recently where I think I've pressed the record button and then it turns out that I'm not actually recording. But hi, welcome to another reading vlog. It is currently Friday and I think this vlog is gonna last until early next week because I have a few plans this weekend. It's my partner's birthday on Sunday and my partner's name is Sam, by the way. I'm just gonna get that out of the way early in the vlog. Like, me and my partner have the same name and it can get really confusing at times. It happened earlier in the week when I was at work. I was explaining how I've booked some time off this weekend to go to Alton Towers for Sam's birthday, and yeah, we've had a few new people join the team recently who were a little bit confused and possibly thought I was talking about myself in the third person, but it's fine. We do also have plans to go to the cinema tomorrow and then just chill on Sunday, but the point of this reading vlog is that because it's Sam's birthday this weekend, I've said that he can choose a book for me to read from his collection. So if you look at all of these bookshelves, sorry if you can hear the squeakiness of the tripod, but most of these shelves are his books, and then some of these like directly behind me are mine, and then most of this shelf is mine. Then he also has like a sci-fi shelf behind the camera. Obviously I usually film in this section because these are all my books, but yeah, I've said that he can choose a book for me to read this weekend. I gave him a few rules to stick to because I don't want to be starting Malazan, and I knew that if I didn't give him any restrictions or rules then he would make me read Gardens of the Moon, and I don't want to read it right now. I will read it eventually, possibly, because Malazan is one of his favourite series, like, of all time, if not his favourite series, so I will read it eventually. But there's something like 20 books in that extended universe and I can't be dealing with that right now, so he's given me two options to choose from. These are two books that he loved and that he thinks I might like too. So we have Boy's Life by Robert Mccammon. Robert Mccammon, I know, is one of his favourite authors and I had never even heard of him before, so might pick up this one. I think it's historical fiction and it's like a coming of age story about a boy in a small town, so that's option number one. And then option number two is Kings of the Wyld by Nicholas Eames, which I believe is about a group of mercenaries who have retired and their glory days are long past them, but now they're getting the band back together for some new mission. So those are the two options that I'm going to be choosing from. I am really glad that I finished my June TBR early because I had always planned to do this kind of vlog, and yeah, it's quite exciting to read a book that wouldn't have been on my radar otherwise. I think out of these two I possibly might have picked up Kings of the Wyld at some point, but then yeah, I'd never even heard of Robert Mccammon, so I'm not going to decide just yet which of these I'm going to read. I'm going to pop into town now because I want to pick up ingredients for the cake that I'm going to be baking on Sunday. Then when I'm home I will let you know which of these I decide to go with. I don't know what I'm more in the mood for, and these are a similar length, so maybe I'll just flip a coin and let fate decide. But yeah, I could be in the mood for either of these right now. So I kept going back and forth on which of these books to choose, but eventually I decided to go with Boy's Life by Robert Mccammon because I know I never would have picked this book up by myself, and Robert Mccammon is one of my partner's favourite authors, so I'm curious to see why he likes this book so much. And also, this was published in 1991, which is the year that Sam was born, so I took that as a sign I'm already around 130 pages into this. I'm at the end of part 1. Not much has really happened. It's very slow paced and we're essentially following this young boy called Corey. I keep wanting to call him Cody, but his name's Corey and he's around 11 years old. He lives in this small town in Alabama in 1964. We're basically seeing events in this small town through his eyes. So at the very start of the book, he's out with his dad in the car when this other car, like this truck, suddenly cuts them off and like drives across the road in front of them and it plunges into this lake. So Corey and his dad obviously go to investigate and see if they can help. When Corey's dad swims out to get to the car, he finds that there's actually a dead body in the front seat and this guy seems to have been murdered because he's been handcuffed to the steering wheel. So obviously it's quite a traumatic thing that happens and the police decide not to investigate because no one in the local vicinity has actually gone missing. So that's the start of the book, but then each chapter follows various events that happen in this small town and I do like the setting. I do like a small town setting. Robert Mccammon's writing is very descriptive and it does make you feel grounded within the setting. So I do believe that I'm there in the 1960s in this small town. So enjoying this so far, considering that it isn't a book that I would have picked up otherwise. I'm going to try and read another chunk of this today, but we are going out to the cinema this afternoon and then I'm also finishing off the cake that I started baking yesterday for Sam's birthday tomorrow. I'll let you know once I have some more reading updates for this, but yeah, so far so good. Good morning, it is Sunday and apologies if you can hear the washing machine in the background. I wanted to film this update now because Sam's just popped out to pick up icing sugar because I'm making a Victoria sponge cake and I realised that we don't have icing sugar, which I thought we did, so I can't make the buttercream without it. So that's the plan for this afternoon, is to finish baking or assembling the cake and then I think we're gonna have a chilled one. We'll probably order like a roast dinner or something and then watch movies and read for the rest of the day. We plan to have a chilled day today anyway because we're going to Alton Towers tomorrow. I think I mentioned that. So if you're not in the UK or if you don't know what Alton Towers is, it's basically a theme park. I used to go there loads when I was a kid. I think the last time I went was 2016 and they've opened quite a few new rides since then. So very excited. I'm hoping it's going to be nice weather. It's been a bit muggy the last few days, which is not my favourite, but I'm hoping that it doesn't rain because every time I go to Alton Towers, I swear it rains. So I'm hoping we're going to have blue skies, but it's not going to be too hot because Alton Towers is quite a big theme park. So walking around in the heat is just, yeah, I'm sure we'll have a good day, whatever, but I will obviously let you know how it goes. I won't vlog on the day or anything. I'll probably do some B-roll so you can see some of the rides, but otherwise I will probably catch up with you on Tuesday. Haven't read any more since I last spoke to you, by the way, because we were at the cinema yesterday. We went to see The Flash, which is the new DC movie, and I haven't seen any of the other DC films. I watched Wonder Woman when it came out at the cinema, but I haven't seen any of the other DC films. And I feel like a big part of the plot, obviously without spoilers, but I feel like some of the plot relies on you having seen other DC movies. So I wasn't completely lost. I could still follow what was happening, and it was quite funny. But yeah, I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if I'd seen Man of Steel in particular, but also some of the other DC movies. I'm gonna stop rambling now because I need to wrap Sam's presents before he gets back from the shop, and then yeah, it's gonna hopefully be just a nice chilled Sunday.
I'm wearing your t-shirt, it smells like roses after rain. There was storm, I tried to flirt, but you mess with neurons in my brain. When I see you, it's
It is now Tuesday and I am exhausted. I love roller coasters and theme parks, but I should have booked a day off work to recover. My brain feels like it's been rattling around in my skull, which it has been, because roller coasters. But Alton Towers was good yesterday. It was a lot busier than I was expecting, considering we were there on a weekday, but it was, yeah, good. We got on 6 rides, I think, in total, and 5 of those were roller coasters. Alton Towers is around a 2-hour drive from me, and then it obviously took us 2 hours to get home as well, so it was a long day. We left the house at 7:30 in the morning and didn't get home till 8:30, and then I went pretty much straight to sleep after having food, because it was a tiring day. You know where you just feel like you're completely drained of energy? That is how I feel today, but hopefully I'll recover quickly because I do have plans again this weekend. Much more chilled plans though, thankfully. No more roller coasters, I don't think, for another year. But yeah, what else did I want to tell you? I am now halfway through A Boy's Life. I was hoping to have finished this by, well, today or tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen now though. I am now halfway through this and I'm liking it. I do feel invested in the story. It took me a while to get into this though, and I think it's because Robert Mccammon likes to write long descriptions of stuff, and it's hard to work out sometimes what you need to pay attention to and what's just there to build the atmosphere. I do like the atmosphere in this though, and I can see why this is one of Sam's favourite books. So excited to see how this ends. I am going to try and read some of this tonight, but I'm not making any promises because brain hurts and I'm struggling. So last night I finished reading Boy's Life by Robert Mccammon and I really liked this. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I ran it through Corpile and it did come out as like a solid 4 stars, so I'm quite happy with that. I was really nervous at one point that I wasn't going to enjoy this, and obviously this is one of my partner's favourite books of all time, so that would have been a little bit awkward. But we were chatting about this book actually last night after I finished it, and it's interesting because I feel like our opinion aligns in some ways, but there was some stuff that I think he loved a lot more than I did, and there was stuff that I didn't like that didn't bother him. So the main thing that I loved about this book was the atmosphere and how it felt very nostalgic. I loved that we were following a 12-year-old boy because it's that age where you're not quite an adult, but you're also not really a kid anymore. So it was really interesting seeing certain events through this main character's eyes because you could see his imagination and the way that he was interpreting certain events to make them make sense to him. Like there were certain things that he couldn't quite understand, but you could see the way that he was, I guess, trying to make it make sense in his mind. The main thing that I was a little disappointed with was the conclusion of the mystery. So I'm not going to go into spoilers, but this really interesting mystery is introduced at the start of this book, and then it kind of goes off on a tangent and then it brings it back at the end, and I understood why we went off on that tangent, but I didn't find the ending that satisfying. It felt a little bit rushed to me. Generally, I also think this book was a little too long. I think it could have been around 100 pages shorter and it would have just worked better for me. But yeah, glad that I read this, and I'm gonna give it 4 stars. So I feel like this vlog has been successful. This is actually the 3rd book that Sam has recommended to me, or that I've read based purely on his recommendation, and I feel like this has been the most successful book that he's made me read. So That's good. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap things up here. I think I would read more books by Robert Mccammon, to be fair. His writing doesn't remind me of Stephen King. Like, I think if you love Stephen King books, then it's worth giving this a go because they have similar vibes. I've actually seen a few reviews that have compared this to Stand By Me, the film, which I think was based on a Stephen King book. I'm pretty sure I watched it when I was a kid, but I can't really remember it. But just if you were interested in what kind of vibe this gives off, I think that if you do like Stephen King books, then check out Robert Mccammon. But yeah, I think that is everything that I wanted to say in this vlog. So thanks for watching. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments. Do you ever read books that have been recommended to you by people offline? Because I spend a lot of time online, and I feel like most of my book recommendations now come from BookTube or Bookstagram or BookTok, so it's quite refreshing sometimes to read a book that didn't come from a recommendation online. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and click subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me, but otherwise I will see you next time. Bye!